Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1414, 1100. Wait, how does that work with the numbers? 1414, 1414. And I am Mike Matthews, broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. Today, Madame Rootabega, Valentino, Bison Bentley. We'll get to a segment called That's Pretty Interesting. That's because we got some pretty interesting stuff.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Yesterday's show, I discussed the last show I discussed my 14 years old person.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Self. And yesterday I went to Hayward and met my friend Sylvia. Oh crap, what the hell do you rhyme with, Sylvia? Yeah, that's a tough one, but I had a lot of fun because we talked about all kinds of things going on in the world, you know.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
After Sylvia, who listens to the show quite a bit, I met up with another wonderful friend
Mike's
that's been on the show.
Daily
And that would be
Podcast.
Katie.
Yeah!
And it's the Hayward Japanese Gardens where we met. That actually says Castro Valley is where it is. A tranquil botanical garden with tea house. It says it does have a tea house. Now, Sylvia and I were like, why don't they have a tea house? But it says here they do. Maybe we just missed it. I don't know. But it's only 2.7 miles from my house. How cool. And so I saw Katie. Oh, look who just walked in. Hello, Michael Matthews. It's Madame Rootabega, and I love to be at Cafe Anyway.
Anyway.
And I like Mike Matthews. Oh, thank you.
You've got to be kidding me.
So, yeah, what was that thing that everyone's been talking about lately? Look who else walked in.
They will be met with fire, fury, and frankly power, the likes of which this world has never seen before.
That's called talking forcefully. Who is this? I know. Else walked in. Who else?
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, I want you to know that I owe you because you teach me stuff.
We owe you because we learn from you. We learn from you, by example, how to do a show with intention, how to work with clarity, how to treat people.
And here's today's podcast picture.
That's really nice of you to say that, Valentino.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that now. They just go, yeah. Have you noticed that? Is that just me? This guy I know named Zach, he just goes, yeah, all the time. Hey, Zach, so, you're here on time today. It's great. Yeah. Okay, and then who else is with you, Valentino?
I don't know, some guy.
Okay, maybe he'll say something. It's Bison Bentley. Do you know that? Wonderful. Oh, I see Sean Aguilar left his card for us. That's wonderful. Oh, my gosh, people that leave their cards everywhere. Like a tree leaving leaves. At least leaves are biodegradable, stupid cards. I am anti-business cards, my friend. It is a sham. Vistaprint, even though it's based where I used to live in Ventura County, a sham. ShamWow. Remember ShamWows? So warm. Oh, no, wait. That was what was that? A cuddly? A Furby? It had some weird name like that. Everybody wanted one. This is like not even 10 years ago. And ShamWow was the cleaning thing. Right. Okay, all our wonderful infomercial products. Thought I'd go on a tangent there, didn't you? Hey, I spoke with Katie, who's done the segment Lady Katie here on Mike's Daily Podcast. Also saw Nick and Steph, and Basil got to walk with Katie's dog, Mally, and Nick and Steph's dogs, Dixie and Bella. So Basil was one happy dog yesterday. And I was talking with Sylvia, and about midway through our conversation, I thought, am I a total, helicopter dog parent? Am I worried about every little thing my dog does? And I think I am. Oh well. It's tough. And so I don't want to criticize helicopter parents, but it is good to know when you're being a little more helicoptery than usual. Hey, today on Google, I guess when you open up the Google Doodle thing, it teaches you all about rap and how to rap. And you can actually like mix records and do the breakdown. And they tell you all about DJ Kool Herc, who supposedly invented hip-hop and the whole mixing between two turntables and a microphone. And so you get to have fun with that. I discovered that on my way to trying to get the show all prepared for you today. And here we are. I began watching Rogue One finally last night. And a lot of it I enjoyed, but the thing is, and I'm only about halfway through it, I finished Doctor Strange, which was interesting going from Doctor Strange to Rogue One. Both of them Disney-made, funded movies. And both of them with that same actor guy, the villain in Doctor Strange, and then he's like the guy that helps create the Death Star in Rogue One. I forget his name, but he kind of almost looks like Freddie Mercury a little bit. And there's the one problem I have with Rogue One, and then I'll move on, is Peter Cushing. They bring him back to life because his character, who was in the original, the very first Star Wars that was made in 1977, he played this guy who runs the Death Star, and he died long ago, back in the early 80s, and they bring him back to life with CGI. Everybody was hailing him. Oh my gosh, they bring him back to life. It's amazing. It looks so real. No, it doesn't. Look, I can't do CGI. I don't know the first thing about doing CGI, but I do know when you make someone look like a robot, he moves around and blinks like a robot. I thought I was watching an animatronic thing at Disneyland. I thought it was on the Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh, look, it's one of those things from the Pirates of the Caribbean. It's not Johnny Depp. It looked bad. And this all ties back to Doctor Who. How? Because Peter Cushing once played Doctor Who. Not the British Doctor Who. America tried to make its own version of Doctor Who, having a guy traveling around in a telephone box that was old and kind of wacky and British. But in the American one, there was a bunch of changes, like he wasn't a Time Lord, and there was all these weird changes. There's two of the movies I think you can watch on YouTube now, and they're not good. But they were all the rage, like in the 60s. People were, oh my God, look, it's got robots, and they shoot lasers, and woohoo. So Peter Cushing being resurrected through CGI, and I didn't like it at all. I would have liked that movie a lot better if they didn't do that. And just, I don't know, not even involve that character somehow. Or just kept him way off in the background. But at any rate, let's get to the website, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. If you haven't been there, please go, because, well, I pay money for this stupid website, and if you don't go there, it's kind of pointless. But all of my links to all the places that you can find this show are there, and you can see all the past podcast pictures, listen to past shows. I think you can go all the way. You can try and find the very first episode, which wasn't that good, and I was doing it from my basement. But I gave it a good college try. And actually goes all the way back to March 2009. So check out MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. You can help out the show too if you click on the Amazon link at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com and buy whatever it is you're going to buy. Maybe you're going to do some purchasing this weekend. Maybe you're going to buy a new garden hose. Everybody's getting rid of their garden hose thingies that you wrap the garden hose around. All up and down my block, people are getting rid of all kinds of stuff today. Chairs and whatnot. And I didn't have time to really peruse and do any dumpster diving and check out all the stuff they're giving away or just throwing out. So that's happening for some reason this week.
Blah, 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 blah.
In Podcaster Valley. But yeah, if you're going to buy anything on the Amazon link, go through that at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. There's also the PayPal if you'd like to help us out that way too. And now let's get to the segment called
It's pretty interesting.
Burger Master.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yes, so we had Trump tweeting that North Korea military solutions are fully in place. He continued his aggressive rhetoric toward North Korea today, issuing yet another stark warning to the U.S. adversary on Twitter. He said military solutions are now fully in place, locked and loaded. Should North Korea act unwisely, hopefully Kim Jong-un will find another path. And so let's go to this next one, because the rest of that article just repeats stuff I've mentioned over and over again this past week. President Trump said yesterday that he is very thankful to Russian President Vladimir Putin for expelling hundreds of U.S. diplomats from Russia, because he said it helps him cut the U.S. government's payroll. And we all know what Trump thinks about Russia.
I say it's better to get along with Russia than not.
Addressing for the first time Putin's decision late last month that the U.S. Embassy and consulates in Russia would have to cut 775 diplomatic and technical staffers, Trump told reporters that he sees no reason for them to continue working in Russia. I want to thank him because we're trying to cut down our payroll, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm very thankful that he let go a large number of people, because now we have a smaller payroll. There's no real reason for them to go back. I greatly appreciate the fact that we've been able to cut our payroll of the United States. We're going to save a lot of money. Gosh. Winning friends all around the world. His answer was a tad tongue-in-cheek, but he gave no clear indication that he was joking or trying to be facetious in offering his gratitude to Putin. He also, his company, turned a $1.97 million profit as the opulent Trump International Hotel, so far in 2017, dramatically beat its expectations, giving the first hard numbers to critics who charge that Trump is profiting from his presidency. This is his hotel in Washington, D.C. The Trump organization had projected that it would lose $2.1 million during the first 4 months of 2017 as it established a new hotel and convention business in the nation's capital. Instead, the hotel, with its namesake in the White House just down the street, is already turning a hefty profit and charging more for its rooms than most or all of the city's other hotels.
I'm really rich.
I just... You know, when I went to Washington, D.C., I think I stayed at the W because I had points from my card. I had an American Express card that would, you could, every time you used it, it put points towards hotels. So I think I was able to stay there for free. That was nice, but DC it's okay for a day or two, and then you got to get the hell out. It's crazy there. So then finally, Google CEO Sundar Pichai canceled a town hall event about diversity shortly before it was to begin yesterday, after he said some employees expressed concerns for their safety. Googlers are writing in concerned about their safety. Googlers is what he calls them, and worried they may be outed publicly for asking a question in the town hall. Sundar also said in an email, in recognition of Googlers' concerns, we need to step back and create a better set of conditions for us to have the discussion. Some Google employees were said to have been named personally on social media and various websites, prompting concerns about whether they could candidly ask questions at the town hall. All this stemming from, the tensions ignited by a memo circulated inside the company that claimed to explain why women are not engineers. And Sundar had to cut his vacation short for the town hall. And he was trying to bring employees together to discuss this issue. Instead of the company-wide format, Google will now hold several smaller forums to gather and engage with Googlers where people can feel comfortable to speak freely, he said. He also told employees earlier this week in an email that it had been difficult It had been a difficult few days for many people at Google, and said he's committed to finding a way to, quote, debate issues on which we might disagree, while doing so in line with our code of conduct. The Guardian reported this week that as many as 60 women are considering filing a class action lawsuit against Google, alleging sexism and wage disparity. And Google's currently under investigation by the U.S. Department of Labor over claims it did not fairly pay some female employees. I knew a female that used to work for Google. She loved all the free food they had and all the free services like childcare and a gym and a masseuse and everything. But in the end, which I don't think she had any problems with Google. She had problems with the Bay Area because she was a Southern California girl, a San Diego lady, and she was, it's too cold up here. I want a beach. Finally. Well, we'll get to two Apple-related topics. First, Applebee's. The parent company at Applebee's and IHOP plan to close up to 160 restaurants, vastly boosting the number of eateries from the two comfort food chains that it plans to shutter. This may be good news for all of us who don't want diabetes, all of us trying to lose weight, or all of us who do have diabetes to go, well, that's out of my diet, because they're gone. And the casual dining segment, where both chains are positioned, is experiencing increased trouble as more customers have gravitated to the quick service restaurants, like Panera Bread or Chipotle Mexican Grill, where they can get all that wonderful poisoning, many of which market themselves as offering healthier and more upscale food. Applebee's remains out of favor with casual dining consumers, said an analyst. Well, all right. And they're in the middle of a transition year as making the necessary investments for overhaul long-term brand health. That was the only place to eat when I lived in Alabama. My then wife and I used to eat at Applebee's all the time, and I remember the waitresses stopping by our table going, "How's everything tasting?" And the other Apple thing as we wrap up the show is Apple is supersizing the iPhone. Numerous case leaks, schematics, and dummy units all point to a 1.1-inch jump. A jump from the iPhone 7's 4.7-inch display, so it'll now be 5.8 inches. Like so many of the major next-generation iPhone, Watch 3, and Apple TV 4K leaks, this information again stems from Apple's own HomePod beta code, which had accidentally shipped full of product roadmap information. I have no freaking idea what I just said. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing you Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Next show, hopefully I'll be able to do one on Sunday. It will be the wonderful Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the Engineer. I like clapping my hand on microphone. I don't know about you. Have a wonderful Friday. I hope it's full of fun, and hope you get to see a lot of friends. I saw so many friends yesterday. It was fun. You need to see friends. You need to be with people. You need to gather with people that are positive, that in your life, that make you feel better. That's what it's all about. Because we're only here on a short, limited, minuscule, finite time. We're off into the great beyond after this. And, you know, we need to learn, we need to love, and we need to have fun. That's right. I still don't know what I can rhyme with Sylvia. Your thoughts, comments, and suggestions, you can call me, 336-MM-DAILY. That's 336-MM-DAILY.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!